Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we have arrived at another new season. Had a little more pep in my as well. Here we go.
Yeah, when you went out for your 5-mile jog, you were flying. You did it in record time because you were psyched up about this game. But let's be frank about it. No more radio shows, no more podcasts, no more just predicting what's going to happen. Now we get to see it on the field.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here comes the Packers offense now onto the field. And trotting out there, their tall quarterbacks standing at 6'5".
And what I enjoyed watching this week when we had a chance to watch them at practice, the easy camaraderie that he has with his offense.
A lot of respect.
A lot of respect, and frankly, I thought it spilled over to the defense. All the defensive guys were coming over and teasing and joking with him. You can tell they respect the heck out of him and really want to play well for him.
Rick, ain't no such thing as a loss. We take a win.
They'll run on first down. It's Parsons. It's a loss of 4 on that first play, and it's second down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading the play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he got blown up on that play. Back at the 20. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now, 3rd and long. Throwing Jones. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. The screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down.
There's an example of good situational football being played by a defense. They understood where the 3rd down play was, the down and distance, and made sure that they didn't get anywhere near that, bringing up 4th down.
Yeah, they were sniffing out that marker, didn't want to let him get close to there, and now a likely 3 and out to start.
Yeah, I love the way they rallied to the football and got to him and made sure he didn't give up much run after catch.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. It'll be a 48-yard punt. 5 there on the return. And the Lions will take over. So here are the Lions now as they get set for their opening drive. And they'll be led out by the man running the show, Charles, their quarterback.
And what I enjoyed in preparing for this game was talking not just with the coaching staff, but with him as well. And I found it interesting that the coaching staff sees him one way, and he sees himself an entirely different way.
Yeah, one thing he said he's always working on, we know he's not bad at this, but his footwork, always wants to improve that, and that's something he's going to focus on here.
And what was so funny, what the offensive coordinator said right off the top, he's got great footwork. Love his footwork. So this guy is never satisfied.
And he'll give it here to his running back. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. And now the offense for Detroit.
And last night we were discussing some of the changes they've made offensively during the offseason, and we know it helps for them to have the first game at home. Hopefully this crowd, which we saw coming in, they've been here for a while, ready to go. You and I should have joined the tailgates, that's for sure. They're going to give them plenty of encouragement. They'll try and ride that wave and get their first victory of the year.
And to give this time to the tailback. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up third down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
To throw on third down, Farley. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now fourth down. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Breaks a tackle. Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packers offense now heading back out onto the field. And a 3-and-out on that first drive. We'll see if they can do better here.
They should have a better opportunity because the nerves should be settled now. That first series, everybody goes out a little extra emotion. So now they get a chance to go back out and say, okay, now we're into the game. Let's go play and play as best we can.
You almost get a mulligan then on that first drive?
Sometimes it absolutely serves that way. You get a second opportunity. Nothing big happened. But then again, you didn't commit any mistakes either. Off you go.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another first and 10. Now Jones from the gun, he'll throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Now Jones. That is incomplete. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
Obviously a tough test for this offense right out of the gate. Road game in game one of the new year. Conventional wisdom says, go slow, take care of the football. I think in this case, attack early and get the home team back on their heels.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. From the gun, Jones. And he comes back with one complete. Give him 18 on that play, and Green Bay has the first as well.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And this defensive line will be looking to control the point of attack.
And that's what they've done throughout this season. This is a terrific unit. They play together very, very well, and they don't permit big plays to happen.
Second and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
They'll need to get this to the 38. That's where the first down marker is here on third. Here's Jones operating from the gun. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. That one sails out of bounds. The side judge will walk it off. And he says it went out of bounds at the 9-yard line. Nice punt. So they'll play the field position game here as a very nice punt is going to pin them back.
Yeah, it's almost like watching a game of tennis, or do you prefer ping pong? You know, back and forth like that? That definitely was excellent, wasn't it?
Throwing on first down. Farley steps away to his left. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
Well, Brandon, sometimes I think when we watch games, we're actually watching a living museum because we're seeing the evolution of positions almost with each passing game. How about defensive ends nowadays and the way that they can run almost all the way across the field?
It is unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, they're so strong, but they're so lean, they can move so quick with those bodies.
It's almost unfair. You're supposed to be able to know where a defensive end is supposed to be on every play. These guys flash so quickly, you're not sure where they're going to end up.
Now, following the sack, they'll come up here on a 2nd down and 12. Eluding the pressure right. And he whips that one incomplete there. And the big meat on the D-line, we'll see how they do today.
And I'd hate to be an offensive lineman having to deal with these guys. They come in hungry, mean, and confident. They think that no one can block them.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Farley. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on 3rd down conversions to start this thing. So from their own end zone here, this kicks away. 51 yards on the punt there. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up the first?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, that's the 2nd time he's been sacked so far in the first half, and if they have designs on having a big year, on going anywhere, they've got to find a way to keep him upright so he can throw the football.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. We're scoreless after 1. The Packers with the football here to begin the 2nd quarter as they've got it with a 3rd down and long coming up. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long.
Down. 90 Wolf. 56.
Operating from the gun, Jones. Pass hauled in by the 6'4" tight end Sternberger. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Oh, and what a play on special teams here. This is going to be down inside the 5, all the way down at the 2-yard line.
And he's got to be fired up about that effort. I don't think he could have walked out and placed it any better than where he ended up putting the football. That was excellent.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And they will begin with, should we call it, far from ideal starting field position, their own 2-yard line.
So what's your definition of ideal?
The 1-yard line on the other side of the field.
Yes, exactly right. So, yes, your definition is apropos in this case.
He's checking crack.
Now a handoff looking right. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 39 yards there, a big one.
You know, I has to be really happy after that play. The offensive line, to be able to create space in that situation when everything's jammed in and everyone knows you're going to run it, that's a big-time play.
Because you're probably just thinking, hey, let's get to the 4 or 5 and get some breathing room, right?
That's all you're asking for. That's all your punter's asking for. Instead, he's not necessary now.
Just like that, out of danger and up past the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Check nickel, nickel, nickel.
They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. 1st down Lions on a pickup of 13.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Farley. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Hindsight is 20/20, partner. Maybe they should have kept it on the ground again.
Well, it almost looked like the O-line was run blocking again. I mean, they opened up a big hole last time. This time they opened up a hole, and the quarterback got sacked. So after the sack, they'll come up on a still manageable 2nd and 13.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy?
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football, and the Packers pick it up. And he will bring this one back. A fumble return for a Green Bay touchdown. So this defense clicking early in the year. Week 1, the return for a touchdown.
The organization made a concerted effort in the offseason to improve this defense. I have to say they like the early returns.
Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This fielded a few yards into the end zone.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. On 1st down, Farley under pressure, and they got to him again. Kenny Clark busting through to get him for a loss of 6.
So if we recount real quick, he had the touchdown earlier, and now he comes up with the sack here. No doubt about it, he's having himself a game.
Check. Crunch. Crunch. Crunch.
To throw on 2nd down, Farley. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line.
So, Brandon, we've sat in with a lot of coaches, and when they talk about things they want to accomplish offensively, I'm not sure that sack and sack are on their play sheet.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going.
Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
On second down now, it's Parsons. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. 2 minutes on the clock, second quarter, 7-0 ball game. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. So a change of possession here on the punt, and that will come the offense as they take over. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And boy, Charles, they have to find a way to just get... The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with still more than a minute to go in the half, time to try to mount a drive.
And I would think that they would have to. This is today's NFL. You got to push it whenever you get an opportunity. You can never have enough points with the high-powered offenses that you face. And analytics will tell you, try and score when given the opportunity. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
58 to Mike. 58 to Mike.
From the gun, Farley. Wide open receiver complete. The Lions now going to use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
58 to Mike. 58. I got it. 58, boys. 58.
Operating from the gun. Farley, nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
They can't stop.
The Lions need to move. They're hustling to the line now.
You're going to keep getting sacks.
Looking to throw on second down. Farley flushed out right. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making them sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Not wanting to risk another sack, they'll play it safe with a run. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here comes the Lions punter now, standing about a yard deep in his own end zone. So we've reached halftime here on... All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try to figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Whip. Watch the whip. Check 31. Hey. 1, 3. Check.
Now a handoff here to his running back. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
To throw on 2nd down. Farley. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. And this is going to result in another first down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 45-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
It's a gain of 10 for the Lions and a first down.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. Johnson running right. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
I'm coming for you. You mind? Check.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Farley forced out to his left. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. They couldn't hook up with Decker that time, but it'll be 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. And he'll give it here to his running back. A nice job to get 8 there after the incompletion, and now they'll look at a 3rd and 2 coming up.
That's a really good job right there. Just kept stringing that play out, pushing him further and further towards the sideline. Really good fundamentals by that defense.
He was trying to put his foot in the ground and turn upfield. He just couldn't.
No, they really had a picket fence in front of him. No room to find to get upfield.
Escaping, and he will score. Touchdown, Lions. A 6-yard touchdown run as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. extra point right down the middle. And we are tied at 7. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it's capped off by a touchdown run of 6 yards. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here are the Packers now. They get set for their first possession of half number 2. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Jones on 1st and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. 2nd and long. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9.
Okay, let's go back a little bit and see if my schooling comes to the front. What's that old saying? Those who forget the lessons of history are doomed to repeat them. That's the same guy who's gotten back-to-back sacks. I think a double team may be in order.
Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Back to throw. Jones. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's a 4-yard return following a punt of 49. And Detroit getting set to go now. The last possession, these guys were able to tie the game with a touchdown. Now they'll have a chance to move out in front.
Yeah, let's give a big assist to the defense who got the ball back. The special teams went out there, handled things. They've got it. They've got momentum. I know they're eager to get out there and put it on display.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. Throwing to start the drive. Farley. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. That one, a 1st down pickup of 8.
2nd and inches is oftentimes an invitation for an offense coordinator to take a big shot downfield because he feels like he can come back on 3rd down and pick up the 1st down. But sometimes you just don't want to break tendency. Stay with what you are, stay with who you know, and go get the 1st down. That's exactly what they did.
Running game working. They'll stick with it on 1st down. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. To throw on 2nd down. Farley. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 22-yard line. Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. He's got the 1st down inside the 10. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling. A I tell you, they didn't give it to him much through the first 3 quarters, but when they have, he's been efficient. Maybe they ride him more here down the stretch.
Man, not sure it was actually in the game plan for him to have as few carries as he has, but it might play out really well for them now. As you noted, they want to ride him down the stretch. He should have fresh legs.
And he'll get this one back to the 5-yard line, but no further than that. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends are like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain. I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
Kill.
They'll try to run this one in. He's not going to get there. That won't even be close. It was blown up in the backfield. Losing 2 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. Got to kick it, right? I mean, even the short yardage, you boot this thing, don't you?
Yeah, but I know how aggressive you are. I know what you want. You want to go for it, don't you? You're feeling it, aren't you?
Yeah, but treat it like a football game, not like Madden.
I like that. Fight the temptation, kick the field goal, because if you go for it and don't get it, you put a lot on your defense in a short amount of time.
So the drive here ends with a field goal. It does give them the lead, but this one's still certainly a long ways from over.
It definitely puts a lot of pressure on your defense to hold the lead, right? They're happy to have it and happy to be out there trying to do so. But I know as a former player, in the back of their mind, they're thinking, why don't you score the touchdown and seal this thing?
Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes
nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20. Looking to throw. Jones. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack.
This offensive line flat out cannot handle this pass rush. We've seen it demonstrated time and time again to the tune of 7 sacks in this game thus far.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he will take this up to about the 8-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Well, they got off the field on 3rd down. An excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments, and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. Their defense has done the job. Now it's the offense's turn as they've got it 1st and 10. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And he'll give it here to his running back. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. Three points separating these two sides with 2 minutes left to go in the 4th. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. Now this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop them here.
Check. Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping. Safety's creeping. Check three. Squeeze. Let it go.
Back to throw. Farley. Flush to his right. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. And now we're going to get a timeout defensively. So another stop, 1:50 left in the football game. Here comes the Lions punter now. He's been terrific so far. A 47-yard punt, maybe a couple on the return. So the Packers down by a field goal, and time, a huge factor. This is only week 1 of the season, folks. Get strapped in as they come up here 1st and 10. Back to throw. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Well, when you're leading in the 4th quarter, that's not the penalty you want.
Not at all, and now your discipline comes into question. Having poise this stage of the game, you can't have those kind of plays.
They'll look to throw. And his throw here's incomplete.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle. Kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. Back to throw. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Jones now. Throwing on 4th down. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. He's back to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Now the Packers going to burn their 3rd and final timeout, as he'll stop it with 11 seconds remaining in the ball game. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. This to potentially send us to overtime. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. This to potentially send us to overtime. And this kick is not going to get there. It's short and no good. Well, they got themselves in position to at least entertain the thoughts of an overtime, but as it turns out, it was not meant to be, Charles.
And you feel bad for a kicker in this spot. He's going to have to shoulder a lot of the blame, but in reality, this will be a team loss. They didn't do enough collectively to get the job done.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. So this one's over. It's a win for the Detroit Lions. And, partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?
Yeah, but preseason, you know, it's preseason. This is week 1.
Oh, you're trying to say real football.
Yeah, real football.
Not preseason football where we shake down the rosters and figure out who's going to play, and maybe the starters don't play as much. Now it's the frontline guys from the first whistle.
Yeah, I tuned you out in the preseason, and now I'm listening to you. So for the Lions, it wasn't always pretty, but they do eke out the Week 1 victory here by a field goal. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for Green Bay, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.